Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a New York Hudson Valley residence here. A beautiful place, absolutely astonishing, very green, very beautiful. We're going to take a look inside and see what they have to offer. All right, strap in guys, we're going to take a look. Look at this moose. Must be made out of copper. Copper tends to change its color like this as it ages. It gets this rainbow tint all over it. So this has probably been here for quite some time. What a beautiful piece.
This log home is a sportsman's paradise with a full soundproof indoor shooting range, a professional grade music studio, and over 3,000 square feet of deck space. You have everything you could possibly dream of.
Wow, no neighbors. Nobody, maybe this guy over here. Hopefully he's friendly. He might not like gunshots. That's why he had to put the gun range in the basement here. But as we go through, you're going to see a lot of taxidermy, so I imagine this guy does a lot of hunting.
In this video, I'm going to tell you more about why it took them over 5 years to design and build this home and what makes it such an impressive architectural achievement as well. From the onset of the project, the homeowner envisioned bringing the grand jewel.
Ooh, looks like we got bullet holes right in the beginning of the tour here, right in the door. Not a lot of shootings out here out north, but hey.
Tour of the Rockies here to the Catskills, and he wanted something dramatic, and dare I say, mission accomplished. They chose rugged, unpeeled logs and combined it with stone typical of the Hudson Valley to give it a unique aesthetic that...
Absolutely huge. Look at these stones. Imagine the crane it would take to put that in the house.
makes you feel transported to an older time period.
I like how it's like Lincoln logs, and like she said, it's unpeeled. They use the natural logs. That's why they're shaped like this and a little off center, and they had to make it work one way or another. Very nice.
You don't get a real sense for the sheer scale of this home until you actually step inside. The ceilings here in the great room are 32 feet tall, but it's the materials they source to construct it that make it surreal. Finding these stones proved to be quite a challenge. Not only were they looking for stones big enough, but they also had to find stones that more or less matched in terms of height, width, and diameter. But the homeowner is really persistent.
Yeah, it looks like they were all kind of placed perfectly to fit one another, like building a stone wall. You don't see a lot of like putty like you do in the wood here around here to seal it with this. You don't see much of that, so they did a great job.
And eventually they located these in Pennsylvania and then brought them all the way out here to Millbrook. And imagine for a second, how do you think that you would actually get stones of this size into this home? So they used 60-ton cranes to get all of the rest of the stuff.
Look at this. It looks like a dungeon in here. I like how they kept these like kind of lights. Very medieval, very Game of Thrones looking place here.
Stone into the house, but those cranes weren't big enough for these. So they had to get a third 100-ton crane just to set these fireplace stones. Off to the side of the great room are doors that lead to the deck, and the exterior is equally impressive.
Huge.
So the fireplace out here is the same one that you saw in the great room, and there's actually a pretty funny story behind the chimney.
I wonder how well they radiate heat, though. You know, like you got such huge stones, you'd have to have a huge fire here to heat up the stones to heat up the surrounding area. I imagine this place has propane heating and other sources of heating, because especially in New York, it gets real cold in the winter.
Here. So when it was initially completed, the homeowner thought that it looked good, but he had higher expectations. So he asked them to add another 30 tons of stone to the top of it.
It looks like giants could live here, like orcs. This is an orc house. This is a house for cavemen. Absolutely behemoth of men. This is what happens when you let your husband do all the planning on the house.
You also notice that it has a curved design, and this was on purpose. When the architect first saw the property, he saw a knoll on the
Beautiful, secluded, absolute privacy out here.
property and wanted to position the house around that knoll. But that design proved to be incredibly challenging to build, with over 140 angles coming together. Another constructed the shell of this house in Colorado, deconstructed it, put them all on about 15 semi-trucks, and then shipped them out here to Millbrook, New York.
Yeah, you'd think this place being Texas, how big it is. Everything's big about this place. Look at the chimney. It's half the roof. Incredible.
New York, and then reconstructed the cabin. Constructing it the first time took about 10 months, and then they were able to reconstruct it in about 5 weeks here in Millbrook, New York.
Oh, I know what this is. This is one of those egg smoker cookers. You see them a lot at these $1 million mansions. Everybody caught on that if you get some money, what you do is you buy one of these.
New York, but the total build process, once that shell was erected here, took about another 2 years. You'll see that they also extended the roof to be able to cover and protect these logs from the sun and the rain. And speaking of the roof, that might look like cedar shakes, but it's actually cement tile.
With all those huge logs, you could probably drop a boulder on this place. It wouldn't go through the roof. It's built like a brick shithouse. Absolutely tough. Very tough house.
That's fireproof.
You wouldn't want this place to catch on fire. It'd be burning for like 3 weeks. You'd have the fire truck out there spraying it with water for 3 weeks with all that timber.
Another thing I love about this deck is that it's accessible from virtually every room on the main level. So if you need a drink, you can just hop into the kitchen real quick.
Check out the kitchen.
So this home was designed for entertainment, and the kitchen is perfectly optimized for that use case. First, the stove and appliances.
Very nice. Like how they went with green. No white in this house. I get tired of looking through these mansions and they're all white. White, 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 white. Everything's got to be white. This place has some color. We like that. I like the green. I like all the wood exposed. Looks like we got copper over here on the walls. Beautiful.
Appliances are on the opposite side of the refrigerator, so anyone coming in from the deck can easily grab a drink without interrupting the cooks. The kitchen is also divided into 2 separate sections. You have the main cooking area with the primary appliances, and then another section with a dedicated prep counter and breakfast bar. These
Very
two
nice.
separate sections not only make the kitchen easier to navigate by reducing congestion, but it also contains the primary cooking space. There are also some very unique touches in this kitchen. So the backsplash here, it looks like it's copper and steel, but this is actually a porcelain tile. And if you look upward, you'll see that the ceiling is made of hammered copper, and even above the prep sink on the other side of the kitchen, there's a splash of color in the tile selection, which just really reinforces this kitchen's distinct character. And of course, the logs in the kitchen are just as impressive as the ones you saw in the great room.
Absolutely. I don't know if it would have been cooler to go with a log finish for your cabinetry to match the house, but that'd be tricky. I think after you get all this done, you might just be a little tired and get this kind of cupboardry.
Some of these logs are up to 40
Cupboard tree. Look at this big old log in the center of the house. It's like having trees all over the house. You go inside and you're still outside. Amazing.
42 inches in diameter, and you can tell not just in relation to me, but also in the log ends over here. And they did a really good job of just matching the scale of the home as a whole. So you'll notice the wood floors here, normally they're 2 to 3 inch planks, and these are about 15 to 16 inch planks.
Whew.
I also like that they mixed in stone and even reclaimed timbers to add texture. To enter the dining room, you pass through this stone archway, which gives it a classy, elevated style.
Look at this. Oh my God. Holy dining room. This is like, you could put this in a movie. This is where like Jon Snow sat when he talked to, I don't know, I didn't really watch Game of Thrones, but this is very like Lord of the Rings old style. Like this is where kings would discuss the ongoing war.
I also appreciated that they included box bay windows on each wall to ensure that you have plenty of space to navigate the room, because there's nothing worse than having to ask everyone to scoot their chair in as you pass.
Very nice.
There's also another deck attached to the dining room, which is perfect if you want to have a dinner party outside on a summer evening. So far, I've shown you some of the traditional rooms that you'd expect to see in the house. And now, we're gonna start getting into some of the rooms that are, well, unexpected. When I first looked at the floor plan of this...
Yeah, this place is on fire. This is not gonna save you. I don't even, you might as well not even put this here. Once this place is up in flames, whew, good luck.
Home, I saw a room labeled pub. Well, my friends, welcome to the pub.
We got the pub. We got the slaughtered lamb pub. Scary pub. And you even got a gun up here. Good heavens. This is, I don't know about this one. It's hard to get stools in between these trees. I don't know if this is like a sit-down kind of bar area or you get all your stuff and then go over to this table here. It's not much of a sit-down bar.
One of the downsides of a rustic lifestyle is there probably aren't any great bars nearby. So the homeowner decided to build his own. And the benefit of having your own bar is that you get to choose who's invited, determine the hours of operation, and select the...
Absolutely. You got a place like this, you'd never want to leave your home. You'd invite people over and everything. You're surely stocked. Oh my goodness, look at all this.
Music, which can be played through this home's Creston sound system. The only downside, all of the drinks are on you.
What is this? Is that a boar? Thing is terrifying. Nasty. Boars are nasty. There ain't no potbelly pig, dude. You get involved with a boar, it'll just eat your legs. It'll start by eating your legs while they're nasty creatures. Absolutely. I bet this is taxidermy. I imagine this guy is a hunter.
But the bar?
Looks like these don't match. Your salt and pepper. That was his wife's one choice. Can I put the salt and pepper shakers on the poker table here? That's what this reads as, a big poker table. I don't know how well this was thought out though, as far as placement through here, with this light coming down and these chairs in the way of this walkway, and this TV doesn't look like it was planned to be here. This might have been an afterthought, but looks pretty cool.
It's just the beginning. The room beyond redefines the concept of an entertainment space. Complete with a flat screen TV, a card table.
Oh my god, look, they got a taxidermy little pony. I hope he didn't kill this little pony. Little pony, gonna shoot the little pony. No, I imagine that's just a stuffed animal.
A popcorn machine and a checkers board. This pub is the perfect catalyst for mischief and mayhem.
A little tight, but I guess when you have all these logs in here and your couch isn't facing the TV, that's kind of a pain in the ass. You can't really like sit and watch TV. You kind of have to lay down to watch TV here. It's a little nooked in, a little tight in here, a little tight. Some chess. Another one of these stoves.
Now when you look at these stairs, what do you see? Well, the architect's intention was to create a staircase that almost looked like they were flying through space, and they went to great lengths to make this work. The builder created a full-scale mock-up of this staircase, and it took him 3 months.
I kind of like it. You can kind of see everything here. A lot of times in these $1 million mansions, they want to make sure that the stairs don't show the brackets and they're built into the walls. But I actually don't mind seeing the iron here that attached it, because the amount of work that went into this is very special.
Just to complete it. And you'll notice that all of the iron work on the staircase was also completed by local artisans. But upstairs is where the rustic character of this log home really shines through.
Ooh, we got a bear.
So the homeowner wanted it to look like these logs had never been touched by human hands. In a traditional log home, you would see that the logs are peeled, whereas with these ones, they left the cambium layer.
Oh my God, imagine you invite people over and they get a little anxious and they're on the railing there and they just start picking at the natural bark on your tree. Oh my God, that pissed me off. And you say, "Hey, I didn't get these trees in here for you to just pick at them. I've already swept 3 times today. You got to stop picking at my logs."
Which is one of the outer layers of the tree trunks. And that's why they have this really rustic appeal, as though they've never been touched. Now, the average log diameter of a log home is about 8 to 10 inches. And when the builders first showed the homeowner the logs that they were intending to use, he said, "Well, can you get any bigger?" Not only did they make the logs bigger, they nearly doubled it, as these are on average about 18 inches in diameter.
Yeah, just to get all this lumber, crazy.
Finding these logs was no easy task. They had to source these logs from across the West Coast as well as Canada. And to add to the challenge, the homeowner didn't want to cut down any trees to construct this place. So all of these logs were actually already fallen timber that they then selected.
Really? You guys buying that? I'm not buying that. I don't know about that. I think you had to cut down these trees to get this many of them at this size. I mean, this size tree is not falling down like a lot. This is a very tough tree. I don't know if they're blowing smoke with this one, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you believe you could just find fallen trees that are this size and of this measure?
From the forest rather than cutting down trees to create this home. When you step inside these bedrooms, it feels like you just entered a life-size Lincoln log structure. The thick timber logs also provide some natural soundproofing, which makes these...
Yeah, I bet. I mean, there's about like a foot worth of log in between every room.
Bedrooms exceptionally quiet. So if there are people still partying at the pub downstairs, it's not going to stop you from getting a good night's sleep. A key reason this place was so complex to build was because of the roofing system. And the roofing system is really complex in part because each of these guest suites has its own covered porch.
That's great. Absolutely great. Want to get up in the morning with your cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, look out on the nature. Oh my goodness. Excellent.
These glass doors serve a couple of purposes. For one, they capture the wilderness beautifully, and I can't think of a more inviting scene to wake up to. But secondly, can you imagine if this entire...
A lot of logs, though, getting in the way of your light coming in. Imagine this place could be a little dark inside. It's not like our mansions where they have like a million windows.
wall was just these 18-inch timber logs. That could feel a little bit overwhelming, and it would make the room feel a little claustrophobic and dark. So by incorporating these windows, it breaks up some of the timber and gives it a little more of an inviting feel and just lets in more natural light.
To the basement.
So wait until you see what's just beyond this door. This is a 60-foot indoor soundproof shooting range.
Look at that. Imagine with all that land, you could shoot outside. It is New York. They're not too kind to gun owners here in New York, so you might want to build yourself an underground shooting range.
But the shooting range isn't the only entertainment.
Oh, look at that. We got a nice man cave in the man house. We got ping pong, we got pool, we got foosball, another wood stove. Absolutely excellent.
Entertainment option down here. And
Oh, we got the Beatles embroidered on this chair. Who's your favorite Beatle? Let me know in the comments. Mine's Paul. Paul's a sweet guy. He's always saying nice things. He's happy. The other ones can be a little depressing. God bless them all. I like the Beatles. Some people hate the Beatles. I guess it's cool not to like the Beatles. I like the Beatles. Let me know in the comments.
Not talking about the TV or the pool and ping pong tables either. Now, it might seem strange to bring you down here into the laundry room, but there's a surprise right behind this door.
I think this is the only place in the house that has drywall. It's incredible.
When you step in here, you're in a professional grade, soundproof music room.
Look at that. You could record your album here. You could rent this place out to a band, you know, like give them a month to write an album and they stay there out in the wilderness. Then boom, you got Led Zeppelin 2 right there. Right in this basement of this Adirondack house.
And it's not just
Or Hudson Valley. My apologies.
soundproof. It's actually a suspended room that's been attached to this log home. So you could have a jam session at 3 in the morning and none of your sleeping guests would hear or feel a thing.
Oof, that's nice. I have that issue at home. I like to play really, really loud, and I do not have a soundproof room, so everybody hears it. The neighbors hear it. Thankfully, I'd like to believe I'm pretty good so that they don't get too mad at me, but this would be very nice.
All through COVID, he
Yeah.
would have virtual jam sessions with musicians.
That is
everywhere.
so cool.
And he plays guitar, drums. It's just kind of a fun room.
And apparently this is my debut as a drummer.
But tis
I love it.
a little practice. That's all that's needed is a little practice. I still can't quite find a single word to describe the Taconic Lodge. It has a fun-loving character with unmatched entertainment features, yet it's also an architectural masterpiece that floored me from the moment that I pulled into the driveway. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. What do we think? Do we like this place? Do we love this place? Would you want to live in this place? Would you buy this place? Do you think you could even build this place? Could you build this place with Lincoln logs? If you had Lincoln logs, could you construct this place? It's a bit hard to make the roof and the stone because you only have Lincoln logs, but that's okay. That's going to do it for today, guys. Make sure to hit me with a like and subscribe. Hit me with a comment. Send this to your estranged gay lover. Your deeply closeted best friend. Send that to him. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the next one.